Mm. Nice chair. Up a little bit. Don't forget the Cash App, Rascal Dick. Anyway, welcome back to Monday School. This is a school, the classes you go to after Sunday school when they fill your head full of bullshit. And I'm trying to like brainwash you like you're in a cult right now. You know, I'm here specifically to talk about the Abrahamic religions. That's Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They all come from the same roots, and they all suck pretty much. But the Jews don't suck as much as the Christians and the Muslims, because the Jews, they don't be out there trying to proselytize. That's these goddamn Christians and these Muslims, these crazy motherfuckers. But anyway, I'm an atheist, I guess you would say. I'm an agnostic atheist, which means that I don't know if there is some type of intelligent deity being, whatever, that is, put all this together. But I do know that the Abraham shit is fake as fuck. I know that's not real. I know that for a fact. And you should too, because the information is easy access. We're in the age of the internet. When I was a kid, there wasn't no internet. You had to go to the library, you had to read, you had to study. You had to become scholarly to learn something. Now it'll take you 5 minutes to debunk your own religion if you ever, took the chance, took the time to do it. People say, why you got, because these people vote, these people believe in stuff, misogyny, killing homosexuals, and just crazy. Just if you think that the God of the Bible is a God of morality, then something's wrong with you. This God, he promotes codified slavery, beating on women, stoning women. He just, he's a homicidal maniac. He's full of shit, basically. And he wants your goddamn foreskin. What the fuck is that about? I'm like, really, think about it. You just God. You are reality itself. Nothing is without you. You created everything, could do anything. And at the end of the day, you gonna tell Abraham, I'm gonna need to get them foreskins. Go there and tell your people, yeah, I need the foreskins. What the fuck are you gonna do with the foreskins? I thought you didn't like gay people, but you gonna play with people foreskins. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. It's messed up. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, predominantly black city, where I lived at, and who I socialized with was 90%, 99% black. Everybody was black, basically, except for my teachers and maybe police, but everybody else was black. And everybody was a Christian. There wasn't no Muslims, there wasn't no Jews where I lived at, So I didn't really know what their religions were about. I had no idea that they were the same thing as Christian. I had no fucking idea until I was like 18, 19. But as a child, I just remember thinking, well, first of all, I didn't want to get up early, which did. For what? I'm sleepy. It's the weekend. I gotta go to school. I gotta get up and do what? Fuck. Who wants to do that? I'm gonna go there and if I fall asleep anyway, It's I don't know who would do it, But yeah, the first thing I remember about religion. I didn't like it because I had to do something that I didn't want to do and that I didn't really care for. But I hadn't really. I was, I'm a baby, whatever, 4 or 5, whatever, 6. I hadn't heard the stories and stuff like that. Then they started talking about the stories, and I'm like, a donkey told the man to stop beating him. The donkey was talking. Y'all believe that? And I really didn't think people believed that. I thought it was like how you pay lip service to Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, things like that. I thought it was one of those type of deals. It was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Just a snake told the girl to eat the apple or something. You guys believe that? Yeah, man, you're the devil then. Uh, See I must have been 6 or 7 at that time. So I'm like, something's wrong. And this is my family. This is my neighborhood. This is everybody I know. Everybody on TV, whatever. This is America. You figure 1950, America was about 100% Christian, right? Give or take. So now we're at 65, 70. So it took 75 years to drop 30 points. If we keep going like that, it'll be 300 years ago, no more Christianity in 300 years, you know. Hopefully. I mean, I won't be here to see it, but, you know, maybe my descendants can see the shit and be like, damn, I'm glad we had to go through that. Yeah, but people, you know, everybody around me is just Jesus this, Jesus that, woo, 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 that, woo. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Just I learned early, don't say nothing, because you're a little kid, you can get punched in the face by your family members, so don't say shit. Just let it fly. But I'm looking at them with a side eye. I'm like, these are the people that's raising me, that's in charge of me. Can I trust them? I can't. I could never marry a woman who believed in the Abraham religion. I couldn't, because I can't trust her with nothing. You know, you believe that voodoo, and devil, you gonna base your life on this? Oh my God, no, I can't trust you. I can't trust you with 25 cents. You know, well, I'm in the Lord, and especially if you, as a woman, the Bible is the most despicable, misogynistic, patriarchal piece of shit in the Quran too that I've ever, you know, had the displeasure of reading. You know, how can you as a woman? I don't understand why women want to be in these religions. These women are shitting on you. Do you ever? They don't actually like in the black community. People don't actually study. They read the Bible, but they don't read anything outside of the Bible. They don't read the history. I didn't find out about the Council of Nicaea until I was well to a grown man. You know, I didn't find out all the things about Jesus' life. During Jesus' life, all his people, nobody wrote anything about him during his lifetime. None of the people that was around him, nobody wrote anything. How are you going? That's like Michael Jackson. Nobody saying nothing about it. And, you know, if Jesus was doing all that shit, people would have been writing that shit. Hey, this dude just made 500 fish sandwiches and 500 gallons of wine. They'd have wrote that shit down. You know, just walking on water, healing people, it would have been written down. You know, his contemporaries, I'm talking his contemporaries didn't write anything about him. The first writings about Jesus is like 40 years after his, you know, his so-called death, whatever. And the Bible wasn't until 300 years after his death. The Council of Nicaea, they had a political event where they brought everybody around because they had so many different Christian sects. They wanted to, you know, mainline it, you know, form the one unity so the Roman government could take advantage of people. And so they held the Council of Nicaea and they, you know, got whatever, took books they wanted to put in, take out what they wanted to take out. And the people that had the most, you know, clout got to say what they wanted to put in. If you had no clout, you couldn't get your shit in there. You know, so, I mean, how you going to take that as, oh, this is the word of God? No, it ain't. It was a political event, man. What are you talking about? That's easily verifiable. Look it up. Council of Nicaea, Emperor Constantine. Look it up. You know, do some work. Find out about your religion. Stop. Listen to your mom and your grandmama telling you a whole bunch of shit. You know, something about your slave masters, bullshit. You know, and I'm saying that. And I said, and I didn't know that in the Bible God condones slavery. Let me see. Leviticus, Exodus, and Deuteronomy. He tells you how to treat your slaves, what to do, who you can enslave when you got to let your slaves go. I'm like, okay, God, you made us, you know, in your image and this and that, but you favor some people more than other people, or you know, they be slaves, but you're going to help them not be slaves, and you got a funny way of doing your business because you got all these, like, say, the Ten Commandments. You're the Ten Commandments, right? But you also had the Mosaic laws and shit, which they were saying you can't eat shellfish, you can't eat crab, you can't this and that little petty shit. But there was law. You can't go to work on the Sabbath. They'll kill you if you try to go to work. I mean, and you couldn't slip in there. No slavery, no making other people your property. Let's not do that either. You couldn't say that. You know. As far as I know, Jesus never said shit about it. When he came up, he never said shit. Everybody talking about Jesus. What the fuck did Jesus actually say? All he talking about is, I'll come through the Father, through the Son, and I'm going to shed my blood and reduce and that and just on. He wasn't bringing nothing new to the table. You know, the Code of Hammurabi predates the Ten Commandments, I don't know, hundreds of years. So we already had a foundation. You know, people already, no matter where you are around the world, people had a cultural foundation how to be civilized. Because you figure out what work and what don't work. You know, if you got a society where everybody's just anarchy and just running around killing regular, that society's going to implode on itself. I mean, it can't operate like that. So, you know, our morals, you know, they come from growing within that society. And if you don't have any morals, our society has laws for you to handle your business. But basically, even the serial killer knows it's wrong what he's doing. You know, because the shit that people do wrong, they don't want nobody to do it to them. That's how I know what's right and wrong. I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to get robbed. So I'm not there's nobody else. You know, I'm gonna treat people like I want to be treated. And that's basically all you need to know, really. Because if you treat people like what the Bible, that motherfucker said, he drowned babies and shit. That motherfucker, you can't trust him. He wants he wants the tip of your penis. I've seen all the things in the world that a God would want, and they ain't had no scalpels or surgery back then. So you gotta take a rock and cut off the tip of your dick to satisfy this dude. That dude is weirdo. That's what I call a weirdo. But yeah, it's to the point. I'm looking at stuff on the internet, and I just thought that people were gradually moving away from this shit. But you got these hardcore weirdos, they just believe in shit and believe in shit when you have to know the facts are there. You're defying science. Well, you have faith in science. You do too, nigga. You drive a car, you get on a plane, you use your phone. Everything you do in this life is science. You know, and but the Bible will have you thinking that the sun revolves around the earth. That's what the Bible had you thinking. The Bible had you thinking that the earth is 6,000 years old. And it's like so many different parts of science have proven that that's wrong. It's been proven through anthropology, through carbon, whatever, on and on and on. Astrology, astrophysics, cosmology. No, the planet is much older than 6,000 years. And if two people populated the planet in 6,000 years, 8 billion people, everybody be retarded. It's ridiculous. And that you really believe that they were building a castle to the sky, building a high-rise building, going up there, and God said, well, let me change these people's languages so they stop building this thing. They might get up and get on my ass. He was worried about a building. They had to change everybody's language. Do you believe that? That's stupid shit I've ever heard. No, that's not stupid shit. This is stupid shit I've ever heard. I want y'all to listen real closely when I say this. Okay, I'm gonna turn myself into my son. I'm gonna jump in this little girl's belly without her permission, and I'm gonna be born. Then I'm gonna get killed when I grow up, but I'm not really gonna kill him. Come back to life in 3 days, and I'm gonna do all that just to forgive y'all. Sacrifice my blood to forgive y'all. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. That is the stupidest shit. Number one, that's not a sacrifice. You come back to life. That's not. That's called taking a nap. And you are the guy that's in charge. You can just say, I forgive y'all. Cool out. You and these blood sacrifice, all that weirdo shit. That's weirdo shit. I don't get it. And this thing with this heaven and hell crap, now. A lot of people around here believe in heaven and hell, and I don't know how a grown person can even I can't fathom. I just can't. It's just complete insanity to me. But let's just say for this conversation that there is heaven and hell. Now, a lifespan basically is about 76, 77 years, right? Let's say I was a serial killer and I killed every day, a bunch of people all day long, raping, killing, all day. So I die 76 years. So my punishment is eternity, of getting tortured for eternity. Now, eternity is forever. We can't even really put in numbers, but let's just say 1 billion times 1 billion years, eternity. For a 76-year lifespan, I got to do 1 billion times 1 billion torture chamber. That you built, and just sit there with the fire fork in my ass for that. I don't think that's not justice. That's not, and I'm saying serial shit, but say somebody like myself who I haven't done anything. The only thing is I don't believe. That's the thing I didn't believe. So I got to get the hot fork in my ass for 1 billion times 1 billion years. That don't seem fair to me. That seems like kind of, that's not justice. It's not fairness. Damn, these cheap ass mics. I don't know. Let's see. We can turn it back on. I charge it. Once you hit the PayPal, I can get a better mic. But I just don't. But the thing that really fucks me up is the 6,000 year thing, because I'm just like, now we know for a fact, these are facts. Civilization started around 10,000 years ago. We know that. We know that writing down the cuneiform, the languages, were about 5,000, 6,000 years old. We know that. That's a fact. They have older drawings that are over there. We're talking trying to write words and stuff. We know for a fact that Yahweh didn't pop up to around 3,500 years ago. And we know that he was a minor god with the Canaanites and the Babylons and the Sumerians, whatever the fuck. Those people, when the Hebrews broke away and made their own little clique. these are facts that you can't deny. And all you guys that have PhDs, you studied those, and you still believe in shit. I don't know. You worse than motherfucker that went to college, went to school, because you got education. You don't understand your education. So we know the shit's not real. Did you believe in Thor? Why don't you believe in Thor? He got a book. He did his shit. Now he on Avengers. Another 300 years, Jesus gonna be on the Avengers. I like Thor got a hammer. Jesus' power gonna be dying and coming back to life, I guess, or whatever the fuck he do. But yeah, that's just I mean, from my personal opinion, I don't think Jesus is a historical figure. He's not. He's talked about 3 times, I think, outside the Bible. 2 of them already been debunked. So I mean, it's just real sketchy, real sketchy. I think it's an amalgamation. They put together a whole lot of people to make these little gods or whatever. Because if you're talking about me 40 years after I'm gone, you don't really, you're making up shit. Especially back then, nobody could read or write. Nobody had no computer, nothing like that. So we talking about word of mouth. These people, get the fuck out of here. That's the worst testimony you can ever have. Some word of mouth bullshit. So it's just no, I'm not going for that. Not going for that. I mean, how you going? I mean, just think about it. How you call that a sacrifice? You came back to life. What are you talking about? You didn't sacrifice shit. That's not a sacrifice. So we still can't be forgiven. Forgiven for something that you did. You created us. You created sin. How is that our fault? Now, they say God is all powerful, omnipotent, all seeing. You did not see that snake telling that girl, hey, when snake came to you, should say, man, what are you doing? Get the fuck out the garden. Get away from people. That's what you should have said. But here's 2 people brand new to the world. They basically retards. And they don't know what's going on. The snake's talking that shit. Bam, 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 bam. And you gonna punish them for that? Like they was, really? I mean, you kind of fucked up with that one. It's just fucked up. I think it is. The stuff that you do, just this religion of you guys, it's just ridiculous. And like this shit y'all got, this homosexual shit. Now, homosexuals, I don't like homosexuals because it's yucky to me. It's like, oh, who do that? I don't give a fuck what God talking about. Because people, like, if you don't like homosexual just because God said it, then you're stupid. They people, they ain't enough to you. That's going on in their bedroom. Well, God said, do. God said that. You know what I mean? I'm not going in their bedroom with them because I don't want to see the shit. I don't people say, how you doing, man? So breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. They people just like me. They probably like the shit I do in my bedroom. That's just ridiculous. And this shit I just can't get over black people and women. You guys, man, sad situation. Now, I understand, like, Black Americans during slavery, it was a hard time. You needed something to hold on to. I do understand that. I'm not got empathy there. But we come on, we don't know, we gotta leave that alone. Same thing with this Muslim shit, like the NOI, the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X. That shit was started by a motherfucking con artist. Research it. The dude that started that, the Nation of Islam, was he wasn't even black no more. He's a white con artist. If you don't believe me, research it. But they make good bean pies, though. I eat one of the bean pies in Kazan. But you guys y'all gotta wake the fuck up. It's 2026. The facts is all there. You can't argue. That's the thing. You can argue all this shit. These PhDs arguing all these philosophers. No, you ain't gotta do none of that shit. You sit there and think, hey, you know what? That sounds really stupid. That's what it sounds stupid. You was right. I know when you was a kid, you was thinking, I could be watching cartoons and playing. Get back to that mindset. Why you gotta do this shit? You live your life for you. Don't live your life for no weird deity. I mean, that's even fucked up to be, if you use all purpose, powerful being, and you're sitting up there in the blankness, whatever, you say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a planet, and I'm gonna have these people pray to me all day, pump me up like shit, I'm the man. That what you want to do? You got all the power in the world, all the power in the universe. And this is what you want to do? Make people to pray to you all day. Then when they die, they gotta pray to you into eternity. Something wrong with you. That's beyond narcissism. That's sicko shit. That's real sicko. You want to be your father and your son at the same time? Really, man? That's what you want to do? Okay, maybe it's beyond my mind. Say, God's mind, this shit is way beyond my mind. Cause I don't know why the fuck you want to be your father and your son at the same time. Who does that? It's crazy, man. And like I said before, man, modern day correct, physically correct, man, anatomically correct. At the least, we're 80, 90,000 years old. So that means they've been making this shit. This been the last 4,000, let's give 4,000 years of this Hebrew, Judaism, Islam bullshit, Christian bullshit. So from the majority of the time we're on this planet, we haven't been fucking with that shit. And you know, we move like when we're born, we move towards death. And as a species, we're moving toward extinction. That's what you're doing. That's all you're really doing. And by the time, if we last another 500 years or so, whatever, 1,000 years, it's gonna be something new. They're really done with that. Because science has already like put its foot in your ass so deep. Everything that they say God did, no, that's not right. They proved that Noah's Ark couldn't have happened. Science has proven that. The Exodus in the desert, they proven, you know, the Egyptians kept hella notes. No notes on that. Proved that was a fake, you know. So I mean, they proven the planet older than 6,000 years. And, I mean, it's not much left God got holding on to. You got the biogenesis, evolution, selective adaptation has proven how we came to be. Yeah, we are primates, we are big H, and we are cousins to monkeys. You know, we did not come from a man made out of mud and a rib bone. If you believe that, you're an idiot. You know, I'm not gonna respect your religious beliefs. I'm not, because it's just stupidity. Why would I respect somebody who's looking in the face in 2026? If this was 1500, yeah, you can say all that shit. But 2026, the knowledge, the science is here. It's in your face. Anthropology is in your face. It proves to you that your shit's not real. Oh, you believe that book, but you science is making up shit. No, you're making up shit. You're talking about donkeys and snakes talking. That's the stupid shit. You know, so I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm tired of it. God bless you. You want to hell? Shut the fuck up. Really, read a book. Stop reading the Bible and read a book. You know, learn something about yourself. Learn something about your religion. Most people don't even read the Bible. They don't even read the shit. You know, they heard you listen. Oh no, Adam and Eve. That's all they know. Shit. You know, they don't know the history of the Bible. They talk about all this shit. You know, the thing, like people always say, it's been translated so many times, so many languages. So it's but it was put together when they put together, it's bullshit. You know, so I mean, come on, the government, that's a government book. You know, they put it so it'll help them. You know, because that's all religion does. It just fucks over the poor people, fucks people, low people and shit like that. Fuck over women. That's what it do. Oh, you can be the head of your woman. And I'm gonna be, oh, come on, man. Really, you need to be the head of your woman. I don't want to be the head of my woman. I don't want to be telling her what to do or being in charge of her. She's her own individual. She has her own mind. She has her intrinsic feelings. How she feels like what she wants to do. She's being no lapdog for me. That's ridiculous. You know, that's what people say, oh, this traditional Christian. I think when you say that traditional Christian, I think a misogynistic, racist, white power base. That's what it's good for. That's what out here Charlie Kirk and all these Aryan motherfuckers, these racist piece of shit motherfuckers. Oh, white Christian is yeah, because y'all want to run y'all women and run everybody out with that shit. No, we ain't going back to that shit. We ain't gonna make America great again with the bullshit white Jesus. We ain't doing that. And you Muslims, fuck y'all too. Ain't nobody trying to all that shit y'all doing over there in the Middle East, wherever the fuck y'all at. Stop doing that shit. Leave them women alone. Something wrong with y'all. One of the biggest. And I'm saying y'all behind the curve. Now, 200 years ago, we were doing the same thing to women that y'all doing now. But come on, it's getting a little long now. You know, you guys, time to come to 2026. Stop fucking with bras like that. You know, and the women, they raise shit. They brainwashed. They like in a cult. They in a cult. They brainwashed. You know, they think that's all it is. Allah. You know, get the motherfuckers away from Allah for a little while. I bet they never come back. Jews stop taking people money. No, the Jews are alright. They don't fuck with nobody. Except over in Israel. Israel fuck with people.